Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Mad as a Go. Today I want to, basically just ask the question, is spirituality, is religion, is all this mumbo jumbo stupid? A lot of people would suggest, and I'd call these people elitist atheists who would just flat out say, and purposely and with full intent of their own belief of it, to say that all people who follow religion are stupid. Which I personally have seen cases where religion has given people purpose and given people guidelines on ways to live their life and helped them in various ways. So when I do say that religion is bad for everyone, it's not entirely what I mean. It's just, like anything, when it becomes corrupt, it tends to leech on more corruption with it. It's just one of those things, It's funny because I watched a documentary about devilish music, Hell's Bells, made by Reel to Reel Ministries. And yes, it's very sensationalist, talking about Satan and how it's taking over with music. But there is one thing that they quote in there, which is actually kind of, you can see the results. I'm not saying I believe everything that was said in said documentary. I'm just saying that this one quote is actually quite accurate if you think about it. Once, in this case, Satan gets a hold of a society, his poison leaks throughout it, and then man is unable to distinguish the good from the bad, which you could say is quite accurate, especially when it comes to corruption. When something becomes corrupt, like a file on a computer, it usually, unfortunately, doesn't go in the way of becoming uncorrupt, and actually habits just habitualize and people become even worse. Not right across the board. I mean, I've said a lot of things about Christians, but the fact of the matter is there are millions of Christians around the world who go to third world countries, not with a film crew like Bono, but people who just go there. You don't know their names, you've never heard of them, you may have seen 3 of them on a commercial. They just go there and they do the work of God. And in a way, having God in this world helps a lot of people, because there's a lot of volunteers who do it as a faith thing. Now look, maybe the intent isn't in the right place. It'd be nice to say we live in a society where we would just go over there out of the kindness of our hearts. We all have kindness in us, we all have evil in us, and it just depends on your surroundings and how it's going to be brought out. And for a lot of people and a lot of families, the traditional structure works. And in a lot of religions that have this traditional style structure, you have Judaism, you have even all the Hindu and all that. I'm not fully up to date with the Eastern religions, if I'm completely honest. But a lot of religions around the world bring order to a lot of people's lives and help a lot of people. So when to call it flat out stupid across the board, maybe not completely accurate. Because yes, we don't agree with things that, like in the Bible, how it contradicts itself and how there's so many inconsistencies. But you could argue having that book gives a lot of people guidelines and makes them better people. And like that example I used before, people going to help people in the third world to grow crops and to have medical aid and all this sorts of thing. So in a way, it's not stupid because it helps people. But the application in, parts of our society of religion and spirituality are completely fucked. Is that to say the religion is bad, or is that to say the people who are doing that and calling it that religion are fucked? And that's the point I would argue. Religion isn't stupid. Religion, it really isn't the problem. If you want to go after something, go after nuts. We need more mental asylums around the world. There are a lot of really, really, really crazy people in this world who have these crazy ideals that make sense to no one but them. Does this sound familiar? Do you see what I'm getting at? A lot of people, unfortunately in Australia, not a lot of people, but there has been instances because of the recent terrorist raids and whatnot, there's been a lot of anti-Muslim things going on. And completely wrong for two reasons. One, religion has nothing to do with beheading people and causing terror around the world. That has nothing to do with religion. That is someone who is mentally ill. That's it. It sounds too simple to explain something horrible, but like I said with the September 11 and any terrorism and any sort of crazy behavior, it's mental illness. That's why I had that rant about saying trying to reason with these people, they're mentally ill. You can't reason with someone who's mentally ill. You either put them in a facility and get them the medication and the help they need, or unfortunately in some cases they've been allowed too many resources and they're going to fight, and we have the right to defend ourselves. I do agree with that. But people get clung to the religion part of it and don't really, look at the application in so many examples. We remember more of the bad ones because, of course, they get on the news. When you hear about those stories like, the Kool-Aid thing with, what's that guy? That reverend, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he kills like 900 Americans with poisonous Kool-Aid. Now, you could say Catholics and Christians are fucked and look at that example. Or you could look at the thousands of churches around the world, or the thousands of mosques, or the thousands of whatever else, you're praying. Like even Buddhism has some good morals to it. Everything has good morals, but we pollute it with junk that our evil intentions desire. Because we'd like to say we're civilized, but we're still faulty. Humans will always be faulty. Every living creature will be faulty. Take a dog for example. All dogs have a different character, and some dogs are good and some dogs are bad. And that's the same with people and any other living animal. Cows can become aggressive if they've just got that in them. If you have a brain, if you have a consciousness, there's going to be faults. So we don't live in a perfect world, but instead of making it worse, we should work on making it better. So maybe you don't believe in a God, that's fine. I don't personally really have faith in a God either, if I'm completely honest. But maybe some of what they say isn't so bad. I even used to hang out with a guy and he was, some would say a religious nut, but he was just really well-intended about his Christianity. He had a church service and he was God, 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 God. And that's nothing. I'd really prefer that than to a guy next door like blowing up grenades in the shed or something. It's not that bad. The nice ones we end up screwing up with our prejudice. Instead of just listening to the person and understanding what they're saying, we get a prejudice, we go after them, and the next thing you know, oh shit, there's a plane. You know what I mean? These things can be avoided if we're looking for them in the right way. Not with prejudice, not with some sort of superiority, just thinking about it and looking at it logically and following traces and gathering evidence and getting intelligence. It's how to do it. Intelligence rules everything. If you've got it, you're the winner. Full stop. But instead, people get fixated and make the problem worse. Anyway, that's my opinions on that. So, in overall, a lot of religion is really stupid. A lot of its applications are really stupid. But a lot of it, and possibly more, that we don't see, unfortunately, because of what we're shown because of selective viewing. Yes, we have billions of videos on the internet of those subjects, but not so many of this thing. There are good religious people out there just living day to day. And they're good people, so religion isn't stupid. It's helped people. It's just some people are stupid. Not religion. It's the people. Don't hate the game, hate the player. That's how it should go. Man is a goat. Thank you very much for watching.